Hello YouTube, and welcome to another before and after. Now, this one is going to be on the movie Creed. Now, if you see my before and after on Hotel Transylvania 2, then you would kind of see that I was supposed to have seen this movie a pretty long time ago. It's been a while, and I did actually have a before part already made for this. But unfortunately, like an idiot, I deleted it, thinking that I already had put it on YouTube just in a private video, when in reality, I didn't. So, this is going to be like my fourth time talking about this movie in a before part. And so actually getting on to the movie, I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan of the Rocky franchise. Okay, yeah, so my reason for this is two possibilities. One, that I'm not a big boxing fan, and that's what these movies really rely on, so yeah, that can kind of persuade me a bit there. But the second and probably the biggest one is that I think I just had it too built up for me. Like, these movies have been so iconic, so beloved, and so big. You would expect it to be like a spectacular movie. Then when I finally sat down to watch it, I enjoyed it. It's just not as much as I had always thought. So I'm really wondering if if this movie is going to be a little bit different from the Rocky movies, or if I'm going to just be able to say it was good, but I've seen better movies. Um, and so actually getting onto this movie's trailer, there's not too much to say about it really, but there are some pretty cool things to bring up. That for one, we do at least see that Rocky has moved on from boxing and everything, and now he owns a parlor. Who else saw him actually like taking control of Mighty Mickey's place? Like, who else saw that? Um, yeah, I just think it's kind of weird that even though he has bought the place in the past, he just decided, nope, I'm not gonna work here anymore. I'm going to instead open up like this little shop down here because why not? Now I don't know. Maybe this happened in Rocky Balboa. I have not seen that movie yet. That's the only Rocky movie I haven't seen. But my dad said it was terrible, so I'm probably not gonna see it anyway. Um, but pretty much with this trailer, I do think that it does sort of capture the feel of Rocky a bit, with, or at least it captures the feel of the first one. But maybe a bit too much, because while I was watching this trailer, I kept on thinking, okay, this is something that was in the original Rocky movie, but this isn't really different. This is pretty much the same thing, except for with a new character. And with him sort of trying to break out of his legacy thing that came from his father, which is rather understandable. But outside of that, it does seem pretty much like rehashing the Rocky movies. Although, I don't know, maybe it'll be completely different. Um, like, with The Force Awakens, it did not look like A New Hope, and yet when I went to go see it, that one was pretty much like scene for scene. It was pretty much like A New Hope, except for like this 20-minute intermission. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know how it's gonna play out. Like, so it might be like the original Rocky movies, and if that's what they're gonna try and do, I'm fine with that. It does seem like the logical route to go, but it does feel like you can do a little bit more with this, and they do seem to be trying to push in a little bit more. But I think it's sort of something that I'm gonna have to see to get an overall opinion on it. But I do like some little details in this trailer, like um And there is this one moment where I saw these sneakers that were hanging on a wire. Now, this is a detail that I really love. I have actually seen these around a neighborhood that is really close to mine, so it is really cool to see like this tiny little detail being put into the trailer. Like they didn't need that. They didn't need it at all. But it was a very atmospheric part of it. It sort of lets you know about the setting and everything. Even though they already put in some establishing shots, that little shot, or that one little shot of those sneakers, sort of just pushed it out for me. I just wanted to bring that up because that was like a little detail, and when I saw that, that one I have seen before, so that's pretty cool. And so like I know it wasn't just like a made up thing or anything. I don't get why people do that, but yeah, I have seen it before. So yeah, this movie looks pretty good. There's not really much to say about it. So I'll see you in the after part. Bye. Alright, so I have now gone back from seeing Creed, and I gotta say, it is a really, really good movie. So it's pretty much is sort of what you would expect a little bit with. It's about Apollo Creed's son, and he's pretty much following in his father's footsteps with becoming a boxer. But that's pretty much what you would expect it. That's pretty much how far it goes. Um, so I don't want to give anything away because there are a lot of good things in this movie that do come from the fact like you did not want to see this, but it does come. Although for me saying that, you probably already have gotten an idea as to what would happen. But Adrian is dead. My dad said that she apparently died in Rocky Balboa. Again, that's the only one that I haven't seen yet, so yeah, I guess that's just me missing out on the amazingness of Rocky Balboa. Um, so pretty much, I'm going to start off with the characters in this one, because most of the story does come out of what you would and wouldn't expect. So I've kind of already summed up the story as far as I'm going to go into detail without spoiling anything. Um, and so pretty much, um, Creed's son is actually a pretty good character. He gets into fights a lot, but you can sort of see that Rocky and Apollo character mixed into him. You can definitely see that in his character, and that's pretty much what his character is, but the actor does pull him through, and that's pretty much what can get you through it. Like, you really want to see this guy win, you want to see him be able to do this right, and for the most part, he does. He wants to build up his own legacy. He doesn't want to just write off his father's name, and that's actually a very fair thing to want. I mean, like, okay, so his father is Apollo freaking Creed. That's some really big footsteps to fill, and for the most part, he does pretty well. Even though he only has 2 fights in this movie, he does pretty good. Um, then we also got his girlfriend, who really I didn't really like that much. Um, yeah, she's a little bit better than Adrian, and how she actually says, you can win, instead of, you can't win, Ross, you can't win. Instead of saying that, she's actually being a supportive wife and girlfriend and everything, so that's nice. That's very nice of her, and yeah, I didn't mean to say wife, but you can already tell it's coming, so, Rocky's pretty much the same in this movie, although you can see how age has caught up with him. And he does have a little bit more of a Mickey rubbing off into him, but outside of that, he's pretty much the same character, which is nice. And Sylvester Stallone does do very good with this character, and I really do think that I saw Rocky in this. I didn't just see Sylvester Stallone, like, reading the lines. No, I saw Rocky. So, that's a very good thing. That's a very good thing that I saw that. Creed's, Creed's opponent in this movie, I really don't remember his name or anything really about him. Um, but I do at least sort of see how he is a good character. Like, in the end, he even just says, well, hey, you know what, Creed? You did very good. He's not being like a sore winner or anything. He's just like, oh, dang it. Okay, I'm sorry I just spoiled that for you. Sorry, yeah, okay, he wins at the end, but really, if you saw Rocky 1, then you kind of expect that, but yeah, he does at least applaud Creed and saying, like, yeah, okay, you did good. This is only your second fight, and you did really well in this fight. And I will say that this character, this opponent that he's facing, you can sort of see why he's fighting. Like, he doesn't even really want to fight Creed. He's mainly just doing it so he can support his family. And that's a very good reason to want him to be doing it. So you're kind of rooting for both ends. Although, yeah, his opponent does have an ego on him. Like, he won't let Creed talk in an interview. I don't even get that. Why won't he let him talk? It's just like, no, you can't talk over me, but even though that question was directly asked to you, wait a minute. And like, when he first comes out into the ring for the final fight, oh my god. I was just laughing at that moment. It's just like, he comes out, everything goes dark, and then a flamethrower comes out, like a fire breather, comes out, he's breathing fire, smoke fills up the area, and then he comes out with like this big mound music. It's just, wow, he's subtle. Oh, and he also comes out with those special belts that you get for winning and stuff. It's just like, he comes out with like 3 of these, and man, this guy has an ego. I mean, God. Um, and so yeah, he's not a bad character, it's just we don't really get to know that much about him. But for the most part, the rest of the characters are very well done. And that's pretty much the real important characters. Although there are some subtle things, or at least some things that could have been subtle, but really aren't. Like, one guy found out that Creed's son is Creed's son. Yeah, I forgot Creed's son's name. I think it was Donnie. Yeah, that's what they call him most of the time, so I'm just gonna call him that. Um, they don't really use his real name that often because he's trying to build up his own legacy, so he went with a different name. Everyone called him Hollywood for some reason. Even the banners during the fight say the Lion versus Hollywood. I don't know why he used the term Hollywood. He was just given that nickname one day, so I guess it just stuck. But yeah, one guy does find out that he's Apollo's son, and he walks off with like this really ominous music after he told Rocky that he's not gonna tell. If you cannot guess that he is going to tell, I am so sorry because that was so obvious. And like, he's walking off, he's just like, yeah, I know he's Apollo's son. And then just like, da da da, as he was walking away, I'm just like, are you trying to be subtle here or what? But for the most part, this movie does hold up very well. That shoe shot that I was talking about earlier, yeah, that's just as important as it was in the trailer, being an establishing shot. And yeah, for the most part, it does do pretty well. I mean, the city is very well established and everything. You can definitely see how it hasn't really improved, but there have been some areas of improvement. So that's kind of nice to see in the city. Um, I really did kind of wish uh, that Rocky's son would come into this movie. That's something that I forgot to talk about earlier in the 4 part, but yeah, I did want to see Rocky's son. Like, my dad told me that The actor who played him, who was actually Sylvester Stallone's son, is dead. Um, yeah, that might be a bit of an issue, but I mean, like, they could just recast him and just say, like, okay, he's gotten older now. And I think everyone would be fine with that. Like, maybe he'll come into the second one of these, because you can tell there's gonna be some sequels. But, like, maybe he'll come into those, I don't know. And if he does, I definitely think that Creed needs, like, someone who would be a friend to him, because outside of his girlfriend, he doesn't really have any friends. And outside of Rocky, who's very old now, and he was probably gonna be dead in, like, the next movie or the one after. Yeah, he's gonna need some friends to help him through that, and all he has is his girlfriend. I think it would just be awesome to see Rocky's son hanging out with Apollo's son. That would just be so great to me. But hey, at least Rocky's son has now gone off to live a much more normal life. I guess all those things with him wanting to fight in all these movies, yeah, never went anywhere. He just decided, I don't want to fight, and then just sort of left his father after his wife died, and after his best friend died. His kid was kind of ice cold, I guess. So, yeah, there are some actually pretty funny moments in this movie, too. Mainly coming out of Rocky here. And this is actually the very second time this has happened to me. And the very second time this has happened, in Before and After, but everyone at the end of the movie stood up and clapped. Yep, that happened for a second time. First time being in Jurassic World, now in this one. I guess people just really like clapping at the end of movies that are continuing iconic films. But yeah, this one is very good. And now I do want to talk a little bit about the cinematography here, though. It's really good. Okay, so the cinematography at times is kind of jumpy, but there are some pretty neat things to it. Like, for one, they won't just say, like, oh yeah, this guy has done this many knockouts and he's this famous and everything. No, now they instead would pause the movie, show a little screen on the side saying how many wins by knockouts, how high in a tile they are, and saying their, like, little code name and everything like that. So, that's a pretty unique way of showing it, and there are a lot of oneers in this movie. Like, a lot. Now, if you don't know what a oneer is, let me explain, because these are very cool shots. A oneer shot is pretty much one continuing shot that would sort of follow around the characters or would sort of be done by a handheld camera just to make you feel like you're in the situation. Like, sort of like a found footage, except there are no cuts in between. So, thus making it a one shot. And these shots are incredibly hard to do. Steven Spielberg has done a lot of them, but these shots are very, very hard to do. And I gotta say, there are a lot in this movie. That's something that I really noticed very fast in this movie, is that there are a lot. Now this can get a little bit annoying at times because there are moments where it doesn't feel like they know how to do a oneer shot right. Because they have a oneer shot, and then they'll just, like, pause it when they could just kept on going. So, kind of destroys the whole entire idea of a oneer there, but there are some that are very good. Like, for Creed's very first fight, this is my favorite scene in the movie, it is all done in a oneer. The whole entire scene of his very first fight is done in one shot, and it is done magnificently. It's all done great. It's all done near the camera. You sort of feel like you're the referee or something, just sort of watching the fight as it takes place. And man, is it a great shot. And that was the whole entire moment where it's just like, okay, they're gonna cut at one moment. I know it. And then when I see that the fight is over and they haven't cut, I was just so amazed by that. That's a very good shot. Like, and they do that a lot in this movie. I don't really know where they got it from. Like, it wasn't in the original Rocky movies or anything, or I forgot it was in them. So, yeah, I guess that they just really wanted to do some one-shots. And I'll give them this, they do very good with them. And another thing with cinematography, it does feel like you're being punched every time. A lot of the times it feels like you are feeling every punch, and that's the point. I really do like how they do that. The original Rocky movies have done this too, so it is very nice to see again. Um, so I do think that this is a very good movie, and I think it will age very, very well, except for one thing. That being the music. Now, for half of the time in this movie, the music is very good. Like, half of the time they sort of create their own Rocky theme. It's this very impacting music. It's very fitting into the scenes. And it's only played when there's something important going on. And I really do like this theme. They have created a very good theme here. But there is a problem with the other half. Oh yeah, and they also do have the original Rocky music at just the right moments. Like, the whole entire time I was waiting for it, when they were playing the other music, which is a very good theme, again, it's a very good theme. And then when they play it, it is at the right moment. But, the rest of the music, I really didn't like. Like, the rest of it, it's not gonna age well. I can already see that. I get that sort of trying to fit into its environment, but, oh my god, it's not gonna age well at all. Um, and the other half of the music is pretty much rap music, or just like this really, really weird auto music, and oh my god, why are they doing that? Like, the music's not that great, this rap music, and sometimes it's really loud, and you can't even hear what the characters are saying over it. It's just like they're constantly saying something over it, and they're having to like yell over this music. And it's just like Apollo's son is like running, like doing the classic Rocky running and everything. What's playing that annoying rap music, and it's just like they're talking during it, but you can't hear a thing that they're saying because the music is so overbearing. That moment, I was just like, wait, what? What the heck are you people saying? I have no idea what you're saying. Can you please turn down your radio? What in the world are you doing? And like, it's it's an important scene. I wouldn't mind if it wasn't an important scene, but it is. Why is it an important scene? Because it's the classic Rocky running and everything. That's very important. That's an essential part of a Rocky movie. That's something that's so iconic. And what do they do? Oh, put some rap music in front of it so that no one can hear what's going on. Why? Like, I wouldn't even mind that they put in their new Creed theme, which is, again, it's a very good theme. There, it would be very accepting, and they drop the Rocky music, and they do, like, put it in only after he's finished running. Why would you do that? Like, was there even any point? Yeah, I really don't get the overuse of rap music in this movie, but outside that, I really do think it is a very good movie, and it is its own sort of thing. It's not, it took some more originality to it. Like, what I thought was just going to be, like, another Rocky movie, or would sort of just be doing the same thing as the original Rocky movies, it somehow found its way to be very original with it. I didn't really think that you could do that with a guy who wants to be a wrestler or a boxer or whatever. I didn't really think that you could do that. But they found a way. They found a way of doing it, and they made it work. So, haven't seen this movie yet, definitely go and check it out. It is a very good movie. I really do love what they did with it. Um, this might actually be one of my favorite Rocky movies now. Um, and that might just be because I saw it on the big screen, so it got me more into it or something. Like, that does impact a lot. Like, being more into the experience with a bigger screen and a lot more people watching, it definitely can influence your opinion on the movie. And I think it did that very well here. I don't know how it would be on home video. Maybe there it'll just sort of be like how I feel about the other Rocky movies, in which I really like them, I really enjoy them, but they're not as great as I thought they would be. Um, I don't know if it'll be like that on home video, but really, I'm probably going to find out because I'm definitely not done watching this movie. So that's pretty much all I gotta say, and bye.